It's Friday the 27th of May and I've got my pot stirrer back.
Hello.
Life's going to be a lot easier doing the fiberglassing today, as I don't have to keep trying to climb out the boat without the ladder in place. Where we've got to is that's been fastened in with thickened epoxy, all set. These two sides have been held in with thickened epoxy, and the floor on top of the keel has been coated with thin epoxy. All those covered surfaces, the ones you can't see anymore, were coated with epoxy before the timber was fitted, both the timber and the surface they were going to. Today we're going to coat all the bare wood surfaces first with thin epoxy, then fillet joint along the bottom there and there, across the back there, all the way around there, and filled this top edge where I ran out of thickened epoxy. Just fill that with some runny thickened epoxy so that that's nice and smooth and level. And then every one of those lower joints all the way around the back is going to be glass fibre taped, 100mm wide glass fibre tape on all those. Well, very happy with that. It is so much easier when I'm not trying to climb out to do the mixing, and just get the pieces of tape handed to me ready wetted out. We've filled that fillet to the top on both sides. We've done tape all the way around the bottom there, and tape all the way with fillets around that end one, and these faces have all been coated with epoxy. What we think we'll do now is the next job, when that's dried, is going to dry fit the timber sides, plywood timber sides. One of the critical things is to make sure that the top of that is exactly where we want it for the floor.
So Dave has dismantled the area where the batteries are going again, and I just thought I'd film to show you what a mess it makes of our cabin, frankly, and how difficult it makes it to get in and out. So I'm inside and he is outside. I don't know whether you can see. Yes. Cutting the pieces for the battery box, which we have just been discussing, and changed the design slightly again. And then the only access at the moment is this temporary ladder, and it stops us getting through to the back. So let's hope all the tools we need are currently in the fore cabin, otherwise we'll have to undo it again.
The top 4 batteries are now dry fitted onto the correct bases, which is an individual one for each battery, so that they could be lifted up and the lower battery accessed, with dividers between each one so that the floor will be supported. And the level shows that we have just enough space for the wires between the batteries and the 18mm floor. These ones here will come up to the floor level, and we have this 2 levels of floor we decided on now. So the first 2 batteries are at this floor level, or for that floor level, and then the aft 2, which are both behind the ladder. You can see the ladder is roughly where the feet of the standard ladder goes. These will be a slightly higher floor level and will be under the wet locker. It'll be 2 watertight lids, and somewhere here we will have to sort out a join between the 2 floors. But that's progress, and we've now got to measure up and sort out these 2 side pieces. It would be lovely, but it is not the case, that would lie exactly flat all the way along. It doesn't, so we will have to shape a little bit to suit that, but that's roughly where the side piece will go. Going to sort out exactly how high that side piece goes. It'll be the same 18mm ply coming up, and then a batten on each side of it, so that this floor and that floor can rest on it and be bolted to it. That one of those jobs that makes me nervous because it's precision and tricky. Okay.
Lunchtime.
Lunchtime, says the boss, so we'll stop here for a bit. We have been through an awful lot of ideas to try and work out how to get this new floor to be the level of the old floor. This is theory number 222.2. These beams are resting on the old floor. These strips will be eventually the straight bit onto which the new floor rests with the neoprene seal, and outside them will be the sides, and outside that will be another one of these strips to which the rest of the floor rests on. To get the height of these correct, bear in mind the boat isn't actually quite level on the ground, so we're just taking it from the floor, and therefore we've got one bit of floor thickness plus a little bit of the neoprene. That should mean that that is the right height. We are going to just cut away that support, old support there, take it off, and so this one can move outwards about 1 centimetre. When we've worked out the centre line of the boat is here, and the centre line of the battery is there, and we need the battery just to move tinsy wincy bit that way and still be able to lift out. You can just see through there where the handle is, it's a little, the battery has like an ear sticking out a little bit wider. These will end up being as snug to the batteries as we can make them while still being able to lift out the batteries. We think now the order we're going to do things will be to mark on these where the divisions are between the batteries. Then we can take all the batteries out of the way, which will make life a lot easier for working, and we can build the vertical panels that go between the batteries down to the bottom of the keel. We can get them cut and fitted so that they are flush with this right across, and they will be held in at the bottom with by being fixed to a batten on the side of the new battery box, and they will be kind of like a T-shape, so they will come out and be fixed to this by a little block in the corner. Once we've got the 1, 2, 3 internal divisions built, we can fasten these to them, and then we can get rid of these temporary bars, which will allow us to drop the side in, knowing that it's got to be touching along the bottom and flush with the top of this. At that point we can glass in the bottom of the vertical sides, and we're really starting to make some progress. Wish us luck with getting this accurate over the next few steps. Okay, it's end of play on Saturday, and we have got our first mini bulkheady thing, battery containment, vertical panel, divider, whatever, cut, fitted. So these two sides are held by those clamps exactly where we want them. That's our first one going in between, and these rest in notches on it. There will be a batten to fit up there so that this can be screwed to the batten and taken out anytime you need to change your battery types. That battery can just about lift out through that space, and that gives you a hatch underneath which you can lift out to get to the smaller battery underneath it. You can see here the cable will just go underneath that bar and through the bulkhead, and we will notch here for that cable to come to the next one, and obviously for the return, the negative return coming all the way along. The floor inside this area over the first two batteries will sit on top of that level, and then behind those two batteries it'll sit on this level. That's really good. And that's because these two batteries sit on the same size bit of timber here. That just raises them up because of the narrowing of the keel at that point. That's a good place to stop for the day. The only thing left to do is we've got a tiny bit of unboxing, and it's time Jane got a chance to do some unboxing.
So I get to open some parcels. So whether I can identify what's in them will be an interesting question. But the first one that's in here, I do know what these are. They are some ANL fuses. I don't know what size they are. 400 amps, that one.
Oh, and in the last video I said, should we be getting mega fuses or ANL fuses? So I did some Googling. And for high capacity battery banks, mega fuses are definitely not approved by the ABYC, because apparently when they blow, if it's more than 2000 amps, the metal can fuse across the connection, and so you end up with it still connected despite the fuse blowing.
Well, that's
ANL fuses are better, up to 5000 amps they're guaranteed. So we're switching.
So we've got some new ones.
We're switching from mega to ANL.
Right, and got another one here. More electrical, judging from the label, that says 12 volts on it.
Yeah, the first one was from ASAP Supplies.
Ooh, heavy. Oh, it's connectors. Right. What have we got?
A whole variety of 95 square millimetre crimp connectors with different type of holes.
I thought I was unboxing this. You can't keep away. Yeah, they've got small holes, they've got really large holes. There's some small ones as well. These aren't 95. These are 16 square millimetre and 35 square millimetre. So all sorts. Let's hope we counted them correctly so we've got the right number. That's the critical thing. So, oops, put those back in there. I've got a box to open as well. And the box is from Furno Riddle. So I'm guessing that is more electrical pieces. I hate opening boxes with Stanley knife, but there we are. We'll give it a go. I think I'm going to break something inside. Let's see. Ooh, a nice catalogue. Just in case we want to order loads more things and spend a lot of more money. We've also got an ANL fuse holder, 60 volt, 600 amps. Got two of those. Shall I undo them so we can have a look? Oh. Wow, they're chunky. Wow, they're enormous. Are they the ones we've got to put on the battery bank?
The battery bank and the multi-plus and the
wow. They are big.
Inverter motor.
Right.
And the good thing, we were hoping, and it's come out, we can have the cable coming in the side. So when we're putting these coming out of the battery bank, where we're trying to keep 7 inches from fuse to the terminal, we can put this mounted that way,
close as possible,
against the bulkhead, and the cable will just come through the bulkhead onto there. So that's fantastic.
That's cool.
And
right.
Yeah, good. I think it's 4 of those.
4, are they the same?
Yeah.
Right. That's possibly all of it then. 4 of those.
No, not quite all.
Oh, what else is there? Ooh.
Some more fuses.
Oh, the actual fuses. Right, what size are they? Let me have a look and see. Oh, I'll open it. Smaller ones, I guess. Oh, bigger ones. 500 amps. The others was 400. These are 500.
So 500 are on the actual battery banks, 400s on the multi-plus and the motor.
Oh, well, that was a good day's unboxing and a good day's work on top of the keel. So all I've got to do is clear up the mess and make some dinner.
Thanks for watching.
Bye. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up.